We got, 2 laps to go in stage 1. It's Chase Elliott up front, Austin Dillon running in the second spot. He needs points. Austin Dillon, again, fighting for every point. If there isn't a new winner, he could get in based on points. He's fighting right now with Tyler Reddick, his teammate at RCR.
Austin Dillon's situation is really tough. He wants to make this move, but if he makes it too soon, like you talked about, Steve, and people don't go with him, he could lose all of his points. So he's got to stay in this position as long as he can and make the move just at the right time. Well, there he goes. Hamlin didn't go with him. Now he's down there all by himself. Who's coming? Anybody coming to help? There's nobody there. Here comes Joey Logano.
How quickly will he fall back? And how far will he fall back?
He's going to dive down in front of his 22 and hope to create some momentum off the nose of that 22 and regroup and rebound. Be able to get back up here in this fight. See what kind of car he has right now. If he can pick up 3 or 4 more spots, we know he's got a fast car. Got a great pusher behind him in Logano. Good little speedway racer in that 3 car. Knows how to side draft. He's working that side draft a little bit. He's using the energy off the nose of this 22 to make himself drive this car back up almost to the inside of Denny Hamlin here. They go down the back straightaway. Good formation on the outside.
Hamlin also trying to gain as many points as he possibly can as he's fighting for a regular season championship tonight.
Look at Denny pushing through the corner. He's the only car doing that tonight. He's very aggressive with his bump drafting. Really putting all these guys on notice, keeping them on their toes. Now the 18 car's getting turned.
Wow, close save for the 18, but it's going to be Chase Elliott who ends up winning the stage. Denny Hamlin second, Kyle Busch hanging on to it for third.
You don't see many guys save that. You really don't. Get turned back to the right. It's so hard to save that race car.
Alrighty then.
Incredible save. I thought he was done.
Points for Hamlin. He needed them. Points for Austin Dillon. He needed them as well. And right now, Kyle Busch, he might need a towel. Sweat that happened here. What a save. Every single driver in the field is working their way toward the Ruoff Mortgage victory lane. That's where they want to end up at the end of the race tonight. And only one will have that opportunity. Cars are on pit road now, Dave.
And after a great save, Kyle Busch still has that opportunity, thankfully. 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel for him. Really ready for those fresh tires, Parker.
Denny Hamlin, 11. Said he had a move to make there, but he didn't think it was worth it. Chris Neighborhood agrees to be 4 Goodyear tires for Denny. Marty.
Alan Gustafson making the call for fresh Goodyear tires for Chase Elliott as well. He said, man, our car is good, but I cannot push like the 11 car can. He said he may have shown his hand, meaning the 11 car, a little bit much there. 19 does a good job, but Kyle Busch's team does a better job. They will lead second on pit road, but you see Cody Ware there, fuel only. He leads with a lead.
See if he can hang on to it. Kyle Busch also moving up some spots. He is up to second now. NASCAR on NBC is brought to you by Ford. Built Ford proud. Allied. Do it right. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. You go inside the headset with access to NASCAR Scanner. Only $2.99 a month. Listen in on the pit strategy, that spotter communication, which is so incredible here in Daytona. That is available. All you have to do is visit NASCAR.com/scanner. Start your subscription tonight. And while we're at the break, after stage 1, let's check in with the Peacock Pit Box. Kelly, BJ, Brett.
And Rick, before the start of this race, we heard Austin Dillon, driver of the 3 car, say his objective was to go win both stages and win the race. Well, he made a pretty aggressive move, DJ, going for that stage win. It ultimately cost him a couple of spots and therefore a couple of points, so was it the right move?
And it was still the right move to find out in stage 1 exactly what he was capable of doing and what he couldn't do. Obviously, he's doing a tremendous job as a fast race car, made a couple of good saves. The racing was just incredible. I have no idea, Brad, how we're going to get to stage 3 and see all of this continue to happen.
It's unbelievable as we look behind us, the whole field.
As the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs heat up, we have upped the ante on our Mobile 1000 sweeps with extra prizes for every cutoff race. Increase your chances of winning with the purchase of a Mobile One product or a Mobile One oil change. Enter at Mobile1000.com.
Field is topping off with one to go. Absolutely. That was a great move by Austin Dillon because ultimately he has another chance in this stage. And the bottom line is you want to win the 3rd stage. He had to take that gamble to see what he had. Great opportunity. opportunity to learn.
What else with this new package has stood out to you? We've heard some of the drivers on the racetrack say just how different it is. What are you noticing?
Yeah, the thing I'm noticing is the ability for these guys to catch these race cars. DJ pointed it out with Kyle Busch right there. 10 miles an hour faster, he probably doesn't catch that race car. These guys are all over top of one another, and they're saving these cars because of lack of speed.
3 wide. I think my heart rate was higher than Denny Hamlin's. We saw in his whoop strap there, Rick. It's been a lot of fun to watch so far.
It's been incredible. Steve, we just saw something amazing here. Are they going to try to make it to the end of the stage?
Oh, absolutely. 46 to go. We're going to see the green with 45 to go. We thought they could go 40 to 44. We're getting a couple laps on the yellow. That was kind of a guess on fuel mileage. We have seen some racing. Maybe they figure when they get single file, they can save some gas. So basically, I'll call it the entire field. 80% of the field came down pit road and topped off, which is going to be a huge strategy play. If this goes green, there'll be a handful of cars that are going to have to pit, while the rest of the field can make it without a pit stop at this stage. You heard Big Brad say, man, what is happening behind us? There's 4 cars with pit road than I could have thought. Another little update, 22 of Joe Logano for throwing equipment. I've yet to see the video. Normally it's an air gun is what they get you for. You can't throw your pit equipment. As much as sometimes I would like to have thrown it, you can't throw it.
Trying to speed up any stops they have again. That's got caught with that. And getting ready now for the restart field, approaching the Geico restart zone. Elliott, Truex Jr., LaJoie, Priest, Bell, Busher, Stenhouse Jr., all up here inside the top 7.
Names we have yet to see really towards the front tonight. We'll see how these guys figure it out. You mentioned it. You got LaJoie up there, Priest, Castle at 96 inside the top 10. Cody Ware at 13th.
We saw Cody Ware, we saw him move up, at least we thought, 15 spot. Probably either just that quick fuel splash or maybe missed the pit stop.
He missed it, then he fueled his car, but then the rest of the field topped off. I mean, it was really a 3-way cycle as we see some moving and shuffling at the back. Let's listen into the 3 of Austin Dillon and their opinion on the fuel.
You want to be the aggressor. If we get a caution, we'll be fine. It's going to be close. We're lap or 2 right now. Yeah, what I'm saying is I don't want to have to lift. But, yeah, tempo, everyone's going to have to, man. It's going to be close. This would be in our car. Mileage is not great.
All right, so there you go. No one they feel can make it. Everyone's going to have to lift. The crew chief said, listen, if we get a yellow, you can save fuel and we're good. Dillon doesn't really want to have to lift, so it's going to be on top of this chaos and all of these moves, there's going to be a little bit of a chess match with how much fuel you're burning, Parker.
Right, Steve, that was a question mark coming into this race. Remember, there was a change in the package, so many of these crew chiefs were unsure about how far you could really go. Many looked at this stage and thought you could make it all the way, and they said, you know, that first stage is going to tell us our fuel mileage, but we won't know anything until we get those fuel mileage readings from that first stage. And it sounds like the 3 is seeing that it's not what they were hoping for.
See that guy running in second place right there. Christopher Bell trying to look to the inside just a little bit. Corey LaJoie in that 7 car finished top 3 or top 10 in 3 of the last 4 races here at Daytona. So he knows what to do at these plate races. He's got to run on Martin Truex Jr. Going to the inside. I don't think he's going to be able to clear this 19. Parker.
Well, this is really awesome to see out of Corey LaJoie, and it's unusual. Every single plate race he's done in his career, he's been in a position with the team faster than
Take the tampon out and get over here!
Get to the end. He told me today, the team told him, go for it. Go as hard as you want. Go try and win this thing. And he said after stage 1, man, this is a lot different. Also, if you look on the hood of that car, you see that face? That's a man named Brandon Butler who won a competition for Built Bar to get his face on Corey LaJoie's car, running up front here at Daytona. That's pretty cool.
I just wanted to lead a lap. Tempo, you got it. All good.
What a ride right now for Brandon Butler. Dave.
See the red, white, and blue 37 car there of Ryan Preece. I talked to Ryan at driver introductions today. Said, how are you going to race it tonight? He said, I am going to race at the front of the pack once I get there. This car has been great all season long. It got damaged in the Daytona 500. They repaired it. It didn't get much damage at Talladega. They just buffed and fluffed it. And now he's racing hard in that car, seeing if he can win and put himself in the playoffs.
5 of the top 10 are not currently in the playoffs. So when you talk about guys that could win, here's the list. Winning in tonight, Reddick to Anthony Alfredo. It's a long list. I go through it when we go 10 laps. I mean, the list is so long. And when I look at the list, I mean, names jump out, guys that have led laps, can lead laps, and can win here. You know, one thing, guys, I've noticed is in a lot of races in the recent past here, we've really seen Chevys work with Chevys, Ford work with Fords, Toyotas work with Toyotas. But it's just a big mix today. It doesn't seem like as big of a concerted effort to get it all hooked up together. There's a lot of Toyotas in front of this pack, but we really haven't seen that effort like we normally do. And no matter what, we're going to run together.
Two Gibbs Toyotas leading this outside line, and that has controlled that outside line and allowed them to organize and break free. Chase Elliott, though, has not gave up on trying to get Corey LaJoie back to the front as he continues to push this number 7 car here for this inside line. We got enough cars in that inside line to keep that momentum up.
Kurt Busch just went underneath Tyler Reddick, going into turn 3. Now they're 3 wide. The energy from that inside line is getting pulled back right now. It just takes that energy away. Really need the inside line to get this lined up. It's like that outside line. Everybody is single file.
We've checked in on Denny Hamlin a few times, and his amazingly low heart rate, under 100, seems to be so calm. A little bit different for Daniel Suarez. This guy is in impeccable shape. I've seen him working out. Look at that strain. Remember, 0 to 21. It was very low to start the race. It's climbed over 7. That's basically equivalent to a 45-minute session in the gym. So they tell me. I'm going to believe them. But it's 128, so his heart rate is quite a bit higher than Denny Hamlin, who we've checked in on, and he's been under 100 most of the night.
We want to thank Whoop as well as Daniel and Denny, the guys that are wearing these and letting us see just what kind of strain they're under out here on the racetrack, nearly 200 miles an hour, inches apart.
And listen, it's not position. Drivers, I'm going to have to ask y'all, this amazes me, right? That we have one driver at 130, 140, and Denny Hamlin barely passing 100. I don't think that's physical fitness. I believe that's some sort of just approach, almost like the golfer, keeping himself calm behind the wheel.
I do, too. I think it's, Denny Hamlin's been here for a long time. He's very comfortable with himself. Knows what he's doing, had a lot of success. All that matters.
You're calm. That's what you're talking calm. I told you, my heart rate when the race started was at 100. I know, and these guys were 70, and they're on the cars. You're 96 in play-by-play. Denny Hamlin's 96 on the racetrack.
You see a little Daniel Torres, cleared 70 and has race at 8 of his races here. He would be nervous. His heart rate would be higher.
You see a little bit different strategy from Denny now that he's in this pack. Not quite as aggressive pushing. He seems to reserve that for when he gets toward the front part.
There's been a lot of patience actually here in stage 2 so far because a lot of these teams feel like they need to save a little fuel, including Chase Elliott. Listen.
What I'm doing, okay, you need more. Keep up the speed. More cars in front of you, but you're doing good. I really didn't do a stop for that situation. I messed up on that, but trying to make the most of it.
Is what he's doing. That's what he means when he's saying, am I saving enough fuel? When Chase meant, I should have chose the top line. See, when you're in that top line with all those cars and you're in the middle of that pack, you can save a lot more fuel. Chase Elliott trying to stay behind the 7 right now and save fuel at the same time.
Listen, it's no different than going down the interstate. Pull up behind the tractor trailer. I don't suggest you do this, but behind the tractor trailer, your car starts to move around. It's almost towing you along. You don't have to push your own car saving that gas.
Didn't total off here. And the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Daytona. can happen. Now that Summer's #1 show is live. This is the last chance for contestants to fight for a spot in the finale. America's Got Talent, Wednesday on NBC. Toyota driver updates as Martin Truex Jr. leading the field here at Daytona International Speedway. One thing missing from his resume. It's not a championship. It's not wins on a short track, intermediate track. It's a win on a super speedway. Martin Truex Jr. has checked the box on everything else, but it's not yet in my victory lane yet on super speedway. Maybe tonight's the night, but he was inches away from Daytona, literally inches away from winning the Daytona 500 a few years ago, and Denny Hamlin beat him back to the line. So he's been close, just never been the guy. Go through the field by Applebee's, and we'll start with Dave.
And Rick, 32 times here at Daytona has Truex tried to win the race and finished twice second. Also never won at Talladega, so this type of track has been good to him, just not in victory lane. Right now the car running well. No real adjustments on that first stop. Just 4 tires, Parker.
Right behind him. Now on the back. Right now coming in this race, he is locked in the playoffs, but speaking to his crew chief Adam Stevens, he said we need playoff points. That means going out and trying to win the stage and win this race. They need those because as they enter the playoffs, they will get a serious deficit for playoff points, which could continue to be an issue to being able to advance through the rounds. Behind him, a great run for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and that 47 team. One of those cars that's within the top 30 points and came to this race with one objective. We've got to win. If we can pull out a miracle win, we will find ourselves in the playoffs. Right now, Runyon is very happy with the race car team.
I like what crew chief Ben Bayshore for the green car of Kyle Busch told me today. He said, we can't ride in the back today. There are too many, quote, local battles going on in the points. We've got to make sure we get every one that we can tonight, Parker.
Right now, the 3 Austin Dillon. We heard how concerned they were on fuel pitting at lap 54, but the team just recently came on the radio as he wrote there, saving as much fuel as he goes 3 wide right here. Trying to get back up to the top lane. They told him, you're on the number, you're all good on fuel. Yeah.
The 19 just got shuffled out of the lead, and now it's the 20 of Christopher Bell who's up front. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. running in that second spot, and it's not unfamiliar to see Ricky Stenhouse Jr. running up front at Daytona. That was a close call right there.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, side drafting.
Big Ted, Marvel.
Worst of all, you never call.
You don't drive it, right?
Interesting to see this 20 car make that move and go around his teammates. You have to wonder whether the 19 needed to get back here and save a little fuel, get off the gas pedal a little bit. Either way, the 20 goes to the inside with this run. It takes the lead. It's kind of shuffled up the rest of the pack. We've got 3 line action now. Several rows back. Corey LaJoie still leading. That front line, the middle line, phase down to the bottom in front of the 8 car of Tyler Reddick. Junior, I think you called it. Lap 52, the guys are topped off at lap 54. It seemed to me that the 19 needed to get back to try to save some of that precious fuel. Let's listen to what you're saying.
Yep, copy that. What we're going to have to do here is probably, so we're going to try and work something let's just try to grab it.
I couldn't quite take it out, so I don't know if maybe he had a grill on the grill. I didn't see. I mean, instantly now it's very quick up. Right now, but maybe he's letting it look for the 19 to get the grill and dirty. This is consistently an issue with the leader there, Junior.
Yeah, it seems like it's after several laps into a run. So as we continue to circle around this racetrack, the cars themselves sweep all the debris up against the wall. The leader picks it up on the next trip through. But it happens later in these runs. So you're right. It wasn't fuel perhaps, but there was a real reason why maybe wanted to get out in front of the car. You see the 20 has debris. All right, so it's hard to see. Oh, there you go. That's a big piece of debris on the whole right side of that grill. Now the 20 car has debris on his grill as well. So we have to figure out whether he needs to get that off or not, Marty.
Boy, it just doesn't pay the lead tonight, does it? If you're running that top line, it seems like everybody is getting debris. We had talked about Chase Elliott among those who last pitted at lap 52. There he sits in the 6th spot. Checked in with Alan Gustafson. They got him to the top line. They believe that now Chase is going to be able to save enough fuel to make it to the end of the stage. You see, that's the talk up and down pit road. If you didn't top off before the green flag, can you make it to the end of the stage?
Yeah, I mean, if those guys that topped off are close, you're asking your car to go 4 laps, which is not 4 miles. So I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's going to be very difficult. The question is, do you wait right until you only get a splash of fuel, come down, pin up, and say 3 to go, and try not to go to the left? I think that's your only option if you don't think you can make it. Giordano, remember, he got penalized for throwing equipment. He now has found himself to the front, leading this inside line. Got by Corey LaJoie. Let's see if he can bring enough momentum to move the line forward. Great drive by him to get back up there that quickly. One guy set, knows how to side draft that outside line, try to maintain when he can and make gains when he can. And he should be able to bring that inside line up. And again, we'll probably see one of these guys decide to jump down in front of that 22. He has to prove he has enough momentum, though. If they just see him kind of hanging out there, they're not going to be enticed to go down there. He's got to show speed, forward momentum, and then they will pull out in front of him.
But look how he stayed on the door of that 14 car down the back straightaway, waiting on his help. And when the help gets there, he pulls down in front of him, and he goes, and he moves forward. When he loses that help, he side drafts really hard on the car on the outside to slow that car down and hold them in position until the help comes again.
Up front, it's Christopher Bell taking his Toyota to the high line here at Daytona. Just coming out of turn 4, the caution has come out. You see the most damage on the 10 here of Eric Almirola. He had won at New Hampshire, and so that locks him into the playoffs. But this obviously really difficult as far as momentum entering the playoffs.
So look at the front of this. Tyler Reddick pushing into the back. Corey LaJoie gets into the left rear, and then they start stacking up behind him. You don't even see Eric Almirola anywhere in the picture, but all of that caused this. 10 rows back, this wreck happened. Yeah, once they all started checking up from that 7 car getting a little loose. Look at that, 4 car up the racetrack. All these guys lifting off the gas, and then behind them, 10 car gets run over and unable to control his car. 48 spins as well. There's some pretty heavy damage on the rear of that 10, Junior. Yeah. Arm link right there. So you want to ride around in the back where it's safe. That's the problem. You get wrecked anywhere.
Damage to the left front of the 48 of Alex Bowman.
Yeah, that last
fix that.
That last replay helped me. I wasn't quite sure where the 10 got the damage. You know, I understood he came off the banking, but now the contact in the 48 seems to be the spot. Kyle Larson. Really missed that.
Half, quarter. 2 by 2. 23, 10, 48.
Oh, wow, look at the damage on the back of the 37.
Inside, top of 3. Top of 3.
Damage will that do to the
Man
11?
behind us here.
Am I the only one that's shocked that you can hit a car that hard to damage and the thing stays straight? I mean, you hit a dead square. We'll have to keep that in mind, the 11, Junior, because to your point, we might not see the damage in the 11, but has it hurt the cooling of this car all up around the ductwork? You do that in Martinsville, you knock the radiator out.
Yeah.
What a great picture, though. You were riding all at Jimmy Hamlin. He couldn't see anything. He had no idea they were slowing up in front of him.
Well, this is going to solve the fuel conversation here now. Saved enough right here. The question is, does somebody feel they have to come and get the tires? It looks like a bad idea.
That splitter, the center of that splitter is knocked up in the air.
It looks to be definitely not flat between the kind of letters and standard.
Get the fuck out of my goddamn tire flicker.
Optical illusion. Looks like right on top of the grill area below the bumper bar.
Alright, we're going to pit right here. We're going to pit. My tire was fuel with a quick yellow.
That splitter up right in the center. So my concern is, you know, the cooling of these cars. Basically, you have a radiator and that front grille, and it's called ductwork. Consider like a snorkel. Basically, there is either carbon fiber or aluminum that surrounds that opening and directs the air. Just like your air conditioning ductwork at your home, it directs the air into the radiator. Well, if you hit like that, it buckles and comes loose off the nose, then you don't have the efficiency to cool your car. That will affect the speed of the 11.
See how many come to pit road. Wild ride for Kevin Harvick, so he's on his way to pit road. The 11 also on pit road.
Yeah, Rick, they want to get a look at that, just make sure everything is okay on the 4 car, and also change the tires on that. Kevin Harvick still without a victory this year. This has been their best wheelhouse, the Super Speedways partner.
Hey, also the 11 of Denny Hamlin here on pit road as we saw in front of the back. The car there sort of gets damage on the front end. Chris Beefheart wanted to check it out. Although the team on the box are already looking at high-def photos, immediately getting into that with that damage. You see them looking at it right in the front, Marty.
Parker true to his promise. Kyle Larson, still the regular season points leader, has been hanging out in the back tonight. They did try to make a run for some stage points at the end of stage 1. 4 fresh Goodyear tires for Larson, who's playing it conservative. How long do they
Engine issue early for Mike McDowell. Now this, the accordion effect. It collects the 10 of Eric Almirola, the 48s. Also, Alex Bowman involved.
Hey, man.
soon as have another rush. Decking it all out too.
The new Sonic Crave cheeseburger made with new Sonic Crave sauce, 100%. What are you craving today? I want half price. Yeah? For a limited time, only at Sonic. All right, Steve. What happens when you run into the back of the car?
Well, hoping it gets his attention a little bit. You see right around 100. That's what we've seen. A little bit of contact. And I think that's got to get
I own the car
a little
now.
bit. Let's see. Here you go. Whew. Thank goodness I'm getting ready to go down there and check his pulse manually if it didn't move a little bit. I mean,
He's human.
Still only went up 10.
Yeah. All right, Joey Logano on the inside. Christopher Bell on the outside. Green flag back in the air. Big shove from Corey LaJoie in the 7th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47 on the outside, trying to push that 20 along.
Corey's done a good job to get this 22 clear. Off the turn 2, Joey Logano gets to decide on which lane he's going to choose to stay in front of. Down the back straightaway, he moves up the top, trying to get some energy off the 20 car here. That inside line, though, has got a great run here. The 8 car pushing Corey LaJoie, Reddick and LaJoie down into turn 3. Kyle Busch trying to make it 3 wide. Christopher Bell moves up in front of him. Now Corey LaJoie moves up. Reddick's now clear into 2nd place.
That's the first time we've seen Corey LaJoie try that high line. Now he
Honestly, I think he chased it up there. I think 8 car had him going off in the corner so fast, he chased the car up the racetrack. You were thinking my thoughts. I don't think he went there on purpose. I think that's just, he was thankfully had a lane to go to. He remembered the last time they went off in that corner and got spun out.
Busher now on the inside of the 17, trying to get that low line working. Less than 18 laps to go in stage 2. Tyler Reddick, known as an aggressive driver coming into this race. He had enough points to be in the 16th spot, pushing and shoving. LaJoie almost up into the wall. Christopher Bell moves down to avoid.
Once again, that started with LaJoie and Reddick. That time, LaJoie pushing
I'm
Reddick.
fucking out.
Here it is. LaJoie into the back. Moves him up the track. Christopher Bell just had to hang a left to keep running into him. We need to separate that 47 to that 8.
Logano still up front. Reddick running 2nd.
They move down to the bottom in front of the 17 to Busher. And behind him, Ryan Blaney. Ryan's really good at the plate tracks. Up with that 17 car. Now Corey in the back of this 47. Down the back straightaway, Kyle Busch says, man, I can only try to get around both you guys here. Goes to the middle. Dave.
And look at the back and forth between the teammates. The 3 of Austin Dillon earlier had the upper hand. Now it goes to Tyler Reddick. As long as there's not a new for 21 winner, look at the points difference there above the red line. He's added to his 25-point lead coming in for the moment. Points are not added yet, but this is how it would look if the race were to end. Of course it's not. But Reddick doing everything he needs to do, keeping that 8 car now at the front.
Now that's dang
7 points as they're running. So Reddick trying to do everything that he can to lock himself in.
Now we got a car on the outside here, the 47 of Stenhouse trying to side draft really hard on that inside line and then pull back up and get the energy off of Kyle Busch's number 18. They go down into turn 3. 47 still side drafting the 12 of Blaney, trying to hold him at bay until the help of the 18 gets there. Off of the turn, they open up the wheel down the straightaway. They're connected, pushing hard on this outside. Now, look who's pushing Denny Hamlin up the middle, a car we haven't seen yet. Number 5, a Kyle Larson, dark blue car, red number 5, a little bit paint scheme, right on the rear bumper of the 11, who is racing for the regular season championship. Kyle Busch back to the bumper of that 47 car. He had that 47 of Stenhouse all the way up alongside the 8 of Reddick. Reddick, he's going to try to defend it this time. He pulls up in front of Stenhouse down the back straightaway.
Now that high line forming up. And they're starting to pull away. Hamlin in the middle, trying to make something work. Trying to use that momentum that he got from Kyle Larson.
Reddick backs up off the throttle here. Is he going to try to put a run together? He's got great help behind him as they come off turn 4. They've got a big run on the leader, Logano up front.
Now it's 14 laps to go in stage 2.
You guys will see that when they're trying to make that middle lane work with the 5 of Kyle Larson behind him. Who you guys mentioned he's racing for the regular season championship. Take a listen to what the team had to say about points.
I can't wait to see any laps. I'm going to try to get some points here. From here on out, strategy is going to be full on cutthroat. So, won't be kind of right around the back anymore.
So if what he's been doing wasn't cutthroat and riding around, I don't know what we're about to see out the 11 here, because he's been one of the most aggressive pushers all night. Now he says, hey, we got to go for it, Marty.
And Parker, we have not seen Kyle Larson race up front all night long, but they knew when the 11 dropped back, they had to match that move with a counter move. Listen to their radio.
I feel like I kind of got to do just whatever the 11 does here. Because I feel like the close right in the end of, least amount of points releases. Yeah, I would agree, and I would expect him to make a run to try to go get some stage points. So, if nothing else, you can latch onto him, or you can lead the charge. Up to you.
So trust me, there is a lot to fight for everyone right now. Larson hanging on to that regular season lead, just plus 17.
And the regular season championship, that ends tonight. At the end of this race, the drivers that are 1 all the way through 10 are going to receive playoff points. The guy who wins the regular season championship gets 15 playoff points. The guy who finishes second gets 10 playoff points. 8 on down from there, finishing in the top 10 in points. So that's what they're fighting for right now. All those playoff points they can carry into the playoffs, which start next week. We go NASCAR nonstop. You won't miss a thing.
Even the police don't have that.
Good. Sir. There, he gets to go out to those Jack Daniels and beat them before.
Currently running third is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He was very gracious with his time today. He let a camera follow him all day long. And we will have a feature on NASCAR American Motor Mouse on Wednesday that will feature what Ricky Stenhouse did. So thanks to Ricky for allowing us to do that. Motor Mouse, once again, on Peacock, and is Monday and Wednesday, 6 to 7 Eastern. So make sure to sign up
content, PeacockTV.com.
Well, 68 laps to go in the race. I think there's going to be a lot to still discuss on Motor Mouths this week. We've seen a relatively calm race, but Blaney and Chase Elliott on the bottom are continuing to push. For the fans that are watching, you can call into that Motor Mouth show, have a conversation, ask us your thoughts.
And the drivers that are your guests as well.
We've got three great friends down there working on the bottom. Bubba Wallace as well behind that 9-car Chase Elliott. You know they're going to stay committed to each other. 22 is going to go down there and try to block that run they've got. He's going to try to maintain control of the front of this field by going back and forth from lane to lane, using the information from his spotter. They made some changes on that 22 car, swapping spotters with Brad Keselowski. Colin Presley going from Keselowski to the 22 car. TJ Majors leaving Logano and going to Brad Keselowski. This is one of their first races working together. Remember, Colin Presley won the race earlier at Talladega with Keselowski. Now working with Logano.
Listen into the spotter communication in the 22.
Gonna come on entry, Bob's gonna come on entry, there you go. One back to Blaney. He is not cleared. Top's gonna be pushing. Blaney is cleared. Blaney is cleared. Top's pushing better.
Giving him that information on telling him what lane's coming. So where to go to control this field.
Get to the top, half back top.
Great information.
You got the 8. You're clear. 8 top.
Colin Presley, spotter, son of Robert Presley. Veteran in the Cup Series years ago. So important for the spotter when he says the 12 is clear, because that allows him to go to whatever lane he wants to go. Unfortunately, though, that 22 got out there a little bit too far. They're going to have a big run on him. It's going to get a little bit dicey right here. The 12 to the inside.
Big shove by the 9 of Chase Elliott. Can he clear him? Blaney to the front and just can't clear his teammate.
Logano just to the right rear quarter panel, just enough to slow Blaney down. There here comes Reddick. Blaney's clear now. Now he's no longer clear. Logano with the big side draft.
And Logano doesn't clear Blaney. Blaney back on the bottom of the racetrack trying to take the lead again.
47 in the back of the 8 car. They're going to have great momentum down this back straightaway. Blaney's going to side draft the 22 back into the 8. The 8 and the 22 are going to connect. Now the 9 and the 12 are also connected. Logano's clear. He's not able to get down the racetrack in front of that 12, though. Inside line's a little bit better organized. Logano's got to slow that 12 down and wait on his help. Huge side draft in the middle of the corner from Logano. That did two things. It slowed the 12 down and it allowed the 8 of Reddick to get right behind Logano. Hamlin making it 3 wide on the outside. That's going to disrupt the outside just a little bit. Will it be enough for this inside line to take advantage of it? And 3 wide coming up on a lap car. That could get really tight right here. Very slow lap car. 4 wide at Daytona is really tight.
It's still side by side for the lead.
Both lines organized. Both lines pushing. Look at Tyler Reddick, though, get that 22 car out front now. Will Logano go to the bottom of the racetrack? I think so. He's going to go down there and pick up his teammate. Back up the racetrack. Back down the racetrack, just moving back and forth. He's out here pretty far. These guys are going to have a pretty big run on him. Dave.
And one of the most intriguing things about that spotter swap that you guys were talking about is that Joey's former spotter, TJ Majors, a former Dale Jr. spotter, for races like this, he loved what TJ did with you, Dale Jr., and he wanted to Colin Presley. This was going to be one of their bigger challenges, and so far, Presley is up to it, helping his drivers stay out.
The information that I hear from Coleman is perfect. Helping his driver understand exactly what's happening behind him. Paint the picture of what's going on behind him.
Already got.
Help me understand.
47, you're 2 ahead of the 47. Nobody to go here at the line.
Like I said, Stenhouse, he laid back big time down the back straightaway for you right there. Got a big run. Here he is with a big push already. 22, will he go up here and block this 8 car? He does. He pulls back up the racetrack.
Just 2 laps to go. We mentioned earlier they came on the pit road and topped up with fuel late after stage 1, but then when the caution came out, all should be good on fuel, but this would be
right now where we could see somebody, if they didn't get enough fuel in that car, could run out of fuel.
Getting aggressive with the top drafting gear as we close in to get the white flag to end this stage. That inside line dropping back. Several cars on the outside are clear. 3 wide behind that inside line. Hurt the energy.
One more time around in stage 2. Tyler Reddick has been pushing Logano way out in front of the field. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. tucked in there in 3rd.
Austin Dillon made that move to the bottom that time. Made it early again, but pushing from behind. See if he can make it work this time. Big run right here on Stenhouse.
Dillon trying to gain points again in this stage. He got 5 points in stage 1. Can he grab some more here?
He jumps to the outside of the same car. He's going to get some help from William Byron. Williams going to give him a push down the back straightaway. The 3 car, what does he do? A great block. Great defense from the 22 car. Gives the 3 no choice. Coming off the turn 4, really have an opportunity.
He's going to gain a lot of points here. Logano is going to win stage 2. And Austin Dillon grabbing 9 more points, finishing 2nd in that stage. Great action tonight under the lights here at Daytona International Speedway. The high banks never disappoint. Logano up front winning stage 2. Austin Dillon grabbing a lot of points tonight as well.
Grab an ice-cold Coke Zero Sugar and buckle up. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.
It's been dicey. Logano wins stage 2. Chase Elliott won stage 1. The guys fighting for the regular season championship, Larson and Hamlin. That battle has tightened up, and the battle for the final spot, that 16th spot,
has tightened up as well.
Stage winner Joey Logano very happy with his race car. Was told to put it on the sign. He did exactly that. 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel, Parker.
And expect a pretty quick stop here for William Byron. This team wants to be able to get some track position here. Just right side tires for the 24. Very happy with that car. As you see the 3 at the minor street. They're going to do 4 Goodyear tires after finishing second that stage and hope that Goodyear rubber gets them back up front. As you see, William Byron will win that race off the road just with the right tires.
Tire change for Byron Hamlin. He was fuel holding those spots.
You are officially extended, Red. You'd be surprised how many of those we sell.
Kids heading back to school this week. What about Happy Benedetto? How about Daniel Suarez there? Photos from back in, oh, wait a minute. Was that Junior and Kelly? Yeah, Kurt Busch. Some of their school pictures. Eric Almirola and Kevin Harvick. Whoa. Wait a minute. Did you say whoa for Kevin Harvick? Look like. What about you and Kelly? Oh, man, that's a great shot. Okay. Coke Zero Sugar for Humphreys. And what a race it has already been. 2 stages, 1 stage to go. And before that stage gets underway, let's check back in with Peacock Pit Box. Kelly, DJ, and Brad.
And Rick, a couple of the drivers we knew would be trying to maximize stage points. We're talking about Austin Dillon and Kyle Larson. Both finished top 5 in that stage. But Brad, the problem for Austin Dillon is so did his teammate Tyler Reddick. So he really didn't gain much there in terms of points.
No, he did not, but he did everything he needed to do as far as those first 2 stages. Race as hard as you can, put yourself in position. Bottom line,